Hey, folks, welcome to Affiliate Nerd Out Real Talk Friday edition. As always, my guest, Christen Evans. What's up?
Hi.
Special guest, Nick Marchese.
Interloper.
I just wanted to show up today,
Well,
guys.
I appreciate you coming in.
I'm here for the free pizza.
This is a special invite. Hopefully, you can join me next week. Christen, I think you're out next week,
I
right?
am. I'll be recovering from Portugal from AWIN think tank. We also have early release next week, so it would have been like a weird schedule conflict because it's one of those really fun days where Dexter's in school for 3 hours and 28 minutes.
Sure.
Which
What a weird thing.
what a weird thing, right? Like he goes in at 8:15 and he's out at 11:38 in the morning.
Why even go?
I don't even
Why even
understand
go? That's just social hour at that point in time.
Literally all they do is watch movies and go to recess.
Yeah.
So it is. Yeah, wow.
Today, I wanted to warm the audience up to Nick here because, it takes some warming up. So thanks for stopping by. What do we got for topics for today?
I want to talk about scope creep a little bit. And
right.
Just like, I think one of the harder things of, signing new brands, but also just like being a people pleaser who, also is running an agency. It's really hard for me sometimes to like stay firm to what we've outlined in the scope and not go above and beyond. But like, I'm not getting paid any extra to go above and beyond. And like, I have to pay people and like,
Sure.
that's just, it's always something that like, I don't want to say no to people, but at the same time, gotta say no sometimes. Like, can't really do anymore if it's not like working out for you financially. I mean, there's going to be occasional times where it's like, do something nice for somebody, but like every single time, if you've like clearly defined the terms, it's a really good idea to stick within those boundaries. I know, Nick, you and I have talked about that before too.
Yeah. We have. It's a tough topic, right? Because on one hand, especially as a young agency who's not quite the behemoths of the world, each client is really important, and each client is a big part of your revenue stream. And if I almost feel like we come into this situation where it's like, if we don't accept the scope creep, are we at risk then of losing that client? And that's a tough spot to be in because you don't want to lose the client. You want the money, you need the money, but also, God, I don't do kitchen remodels and affiliate marketing at the same time. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's a really fine line to juggle, and I find oftentimes it is the smaller clients or the lower paying clients that are more susceptible to scope creep, and like those are the ones that I always want to help the most, but I also like I can't always do that because I have to pay attention to all my clients, but I also have to bring in new business, and I can't dedicate all of my hours and all of my team's hours to that, especially when it's one of the maybe lower paying smaller clients. It really has to be proportional.
Yeah, I think the part of the reason that so obviously I don't really love scope creep. There is one part of me that doesn't mind it, and that is when they're not asking me necessarily to remodel a kitchen, but they are asking me something that kind of falls somewhat in the same. So I guess so. It is quite literally the definition of creep, right? It's just incrementally getting you there. Only in the sense that I'm always pretty candid with my clients, and that I don't think I can do something, or I do think I can do something. I like learning new things, and I don't like necessarily being taught new things to do. I like figuring it out the hard way because then it's more of a neural pathway that just sticks there, So if I can swim upstream, it's always better.
Maybe not the best advice out there. I'm always going to say lean on
you're not gonna be good
others
at
to
it.
help teach you in the right direction, at least. And Nick, you're really good at asking me questions about things that you don't know, so you can get a good starting point. But I see you working on like you've got to figure this out on your own. But also stay in your lane. Like if you know what you're doing and you know what you're good at, stay there and don't get out of your out of your comfort zone unless you have to or you really want to, I say.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Big topic for me. Anything you want to talk about, Nick?
No, I think for me, I'm just, I'm chugging along, having a good time. I think for me, the big topic point would be the ebb and flow of client retention is always a stressful topic, and I think that segues well from the client scope, because, again, like you're always at that risk of, do you have client retention? Do you don't? And as a small business, is forecasting revenue ultra important? How much time do you dedicate as a young agency to business development? And then also the other part that I'm struggling with right now is, at what point in time do you just stand firm on your pricing and not
Yeah.
negotiate?
Well, and you're such a
Like
negotiator
that's
too.
been a topic
Like,
of conversation.
you love to negotiate.
It's funny. I love it, but I'm so bad at it. I My this is an unnecessary anecdote that I shouldn't share, but I will. But we bought a car many years ago, and the way I negotiated was, I think, if you go to like the textbook of and try and learn what not to do, the way I went about it was exactly, I mean, like exactly that. And even my wife, who is not a negotiator, just kind of looked at me as we're in the dealership, just kind of being like, "Shut up, just stop talking."
So you paid over asking price. Right.
Well, what if we add $5,000 to the invoice?
You love to make things hard on yourself, don't you?
I do. Look, anyone can do things the easy way. Not many people can do things the hard way.
Amazing. Evans, I love your nails. You get
Thank
them ready
you.
for they're so you.
Yeah,
ready
they
for
actually,
football.
they're literally my colors that are back here and the
Yeah.
ones that are on my brand deck. So, and then they've got,
Are they in
yeah,
order
well, of
too?
course,
Roy G. Biv?
and then like the base is
No.
like sparkly gold.
Yeah.
So it's very me.
Wait, show them again. Let me see them. Wow, that
Right?
looks
They're really good.
intense.
I actually had to get, you guys are going to
Yeah.
laugh at me, but I had to get like a silicone cover for my keyboard so that I could type with them because they're so long.
Smart.
It's so silly, but
I would have never known. Where'd you buy them
but
from? Throw the plug
the
in.
cover came from Amazon, of course. Dustin, I'll send you the link.
Okay.
The nails came from my nail place up in Folsom. Yeah,
Great.
yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, getting ready. My flight leaves at 11 tomorrow. So got my
Cool.
tripod, and a little tiny, I love this thing, a little tiny white noise machine.
Very
Because
nice.
I have such a hard time sleeping
Yeah.
in hotels, and I usually use my phone, but then my phone doesn't charge properly. So I got this bad guy.
Tell
which
us
Yeah.
about how it works.
It just literally has a button on it. But yeah, and then it has the white noise that comes out, and it's it's just the same color, same sound.
Cool.
You can't, adjust the sound, but it's got volume, and it's charges with a USB-C, so it's super easy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Pumped
nice.
about that. Tripod, I'm pumped about. I got my microphones too, which are right here.
Great.
All bought with Dustin's affiliate link.
Yes.
Yeah,
45 cents coming
35
my way. That's what I'm talking about.
That's like a double
I'm
disclaimer
raking
right
in
there.
those pennies. Give it to me. Boom.
I'm gonna try to do carry-on only for this trip, which is wild for me because I don't often do that. Like, I'm very happy to check a bag and not deal with any sort of baggage, quite literally. But I'm gonna try to do carry-on only with my roller suitcase, and I have a backpack. I also bought a weighted hoodie that's like 10 pounds.
Has like
It
45
doesn't,
pockets
but it's like,
inside.
it is a hefty bee. So I'm excited to see if that helps me sleep on the plane
Wow.
because I notoriously don't sleep well on planes. So
Got it.
yeah.
Yeah. How long are you there for? Are you going to stay afterwards?
No,
to
I don't really
enjoy
have
Portugal?
time. Mark's got to, get back to his work schedule, but I land Sunday and I'm hoping to do some jet lag recovery, either poolside or beachside Sunday. And then the first event's not until Monday evening. There's, the welcome party, poolside welcome party. So I have a solid 24 to kind of recover and
Good.
get my legs under me. I
Oh, you should
think
be able to do
so.
that.
I mean, when I went to Paris, both when I went to Paris and went to China, like I was sick, like physically ill for the first day that I was there, just because, I mean, again, I don't sleep well on planes. And then I'm also a little bit boozy, shocking exactly nobody. um, weird, strange. But my flight is from Sacramento to San Francisco, which always cracks me up because it's like you could walk there, right? Sacramento to San Francisco, and then San Francisco to Frankfurt, Germany, and then Frankfurt to Portugal. So we'll see what happens.
How long is that? Is that San Francisco or Sacramento to
12 minutes.
Frankfurt flight?
Let's see, San Francisco to Frankfurt. Give me a second to look it up. It's long. I want to say it's 11 hours. Yeah.
Nice.
I was originally supposed to go Sacramento to Newark to Faro, but then Newarked. And so I changed, everything because that it just is such a mess right now. But yeah, I can check in. Yay.
Oh yeah, it's tomorrow. Good luck. Good luck in your journey there.
Thank you. I'm
And
excited.
go get them on that topic that you're speaking about.
Yeah.
What is that again?
It's kind of the state of affiliate today. So it's myself, Kevin from the APMA, which is the UK version of the PMA. So I'm going to represent the Performance Marketing Association, and then somebody who represents a trade body in Germany. And then there's also an attorney, Awin's attorney, actually, who is a part of the APMA, is going to be on the panel as well.
Oh.
So I think it'll be, a really, really good conversation where I know that Kevin's unveiling some of the information he just did for the APMA survey. And I have a couple tidbits, like early release tidbits from the PMA's industry survey. So it'll be a good conversation, but we only have 25 minutes between four of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I could take up all of it.
It's a lot of heavy hitting big words to squeeze into
kidding.
25 minutes.
Yeah. I'm
awesome.
pumped. So, yeah, it'll be super fun.
Awesome.
Yeah. What did you want to talk about this week, Dustin?
Bit of a weird one, and definitely a change in the vibe here. But I had a friend of mine from college drink himself to death, and I've been having to work through that this week, and that's never fun, but it also emphasizes the portion of life of work is a headache sometimes, and it's really hard, and sometimes we might get stuck in this feeling like we can't escape, and I feel that sometimes too. Being an entrepreneur, some months are better than others. Sometimes you fall behind. And I just want to emphasize the fact of going to get help is never a sign of weakness. Go tell your friends about how you're feeling. Go tell your people around you that care about you and get that help that you need. So I feel like as agency owners, you guys probably go through some of these ups and downs as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. First off, sorry to hear that, man. That's rough. It's never easy. To your point, though, especially as an agency owner or an entrepreneur, but even just as a human, mental health is so important. I remember back in the day, it wasn't I don't know if you guys have seen the Bill Burr stand-up skit where he talks about, as men, you're allowed to have two statuses, fine or mad, and that's it. Everything else is not real. And of course, he's making fun of the concept of being the stereotypical man and not having emotions. But man, stress is real. Mental health is real, and it's so important. Even for myself, I'm talking to a therapist all the time, and I use you guys as my therapist, and and it's sometimes you have a spouse and you have friends, and even that isn't necessarily enough, and you just need to get that outside perspective of someone that doesn't know you from when you were in college or whatever it may be. But yeah, to anyone who is listening and everyone who's listening, doesn't hurt, man. Even if you think that your mental health is great,
For
still
sure.
just talk to someone, man. Just go out, socialize, and talk to a therapist if you need, if even if you don't need to, because we're all a
How
little
could you
messed
not
up,
be
right? I
at
mean,
this point?
you know, especially the two of you both. So
Hey, Pot, my name's Kettle. Want to discuss?
Yeah, fair but accurate.
yeah,
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 it's
very true. But yeah, I mean,
yeah.
it's rough. I'm sorry to hear that.
I mean, I think, mental health, and we do, like, the three of us talk about this with frequency. And to your point, Nick, like, we do often, kind of come to each other with, like, things that we need to talk about. And Nick, like, you and I have talked through a lot of things that have been really difficult for me in my career, and amazingly, like, you've been supportive and stuff. But it's really important to talk to people. It's really important to know that people care about you too. I think that sometimes when people get in that particular situation, they think it's better if they just weren't around, or they are too afraid to be a burden on somebody. And the thing that I can definitively say, having had people in my life do that as well, is that it is more of a burden having you gone than it would ever be for
Totally.
you to still be alive. That's it, having somebody gone is always more of a burden. Um, my mom was kind of one of those people. She drank herself to death, and this week was the 15-year anniversary of her passing. And we didn't have a great relationship, and a lot of it was because of her habits and all of that. And it's really, like, it's hard, but it is more of a burden to have my child will never know his grandmother, you know.
Right.
And, like, that's weird. That's
Right.
hard. And, trying to describe somebody to him, just trying to describe her to him, is I shouldn't have to do that. She should be around, to see him and stuff. And yeah, that's really sad. And it is just a good reminder that you're less of a burden alive than you would be dead. Period.
Great call.
Yeah.
And I've got into those low points in my life where I had those dark thoughts come through, and talking to friends like you always helps me dig my way out of that. So I want to thank you guys for being there for me as friends, and also emphasize, go get some help online. There are, like, BetterHelp, for example. I don't have an affiliate link here, but BetterHelp is a great solution I've used in the past, and I need to get back into it because just retune. So,
Yep.
All right. Well, enough said on that. Before we go, though, I do want to share my screen and share something that I'm working on, just to go out on a high level here and a fun level as usual here. So I'm a big fan of Artflow, and you guys consistently make fun of AI, like, creating images of me and, like, giving me too many fingers and such. But today I'm trying to get this shot. My script is, like, candid shot of me offering assistance in the office with a warm smile, exuding approachability and competence. And, like, this is going to be a blog post addition here. But as I look at these photos, I thought it was really interesting. They're all very close, right? But all of them have a little something wrong with the hands. This one,
It's always the
this
hands.
guy's face in particular really has, like, psychopath feel
A
to
little
it.
bit. Like,
Yeah, he's way,
yeah.
way
Yeah,
happier
yeah.
than he
And
should
that
be.
guy's been working on his pecs. Like,
Oh,
you
for
can tell.
sure. And I'm
He's
not
been
this
dedicated.
guy. I'm not a sweater over my shirt guy, right? Like, that's not me. And then this guy, like, I don't know why I'm questioning myself and why Pac-Man is, like, attacking me, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
what
I
is
don't
that
have any
Pac-Man all
idea what
about?
that could possibly be, but, like,
Can you go back
oh,
to
Preppy
Preppy
Dustin,
Dustin
We
sure.
on
were
the
all
right?
kind of prepping Dustin.
Yeah. Wow, man, I mean, like, look at that. That's a okay. It's a cool tool. What's over on the right
Oh,
though?
this,
Far right.
this is like my
These small
library
ones.
of awful, like.
Hold on. Zoom,
All
zoom,
right,
enhance,
we'll check out this
enhance.
one. This one I was asking to
Yes,
be in a
that's
clipboard,
Dustin.
and like,
No,
look at this one. Look at this one.
oh,
This
that's the one.
That's
Really,
it.
really,
that's the
that's the one that
one.
you're going
That's the
to
one. But
emphasize.
for whatever reason, they put this Adonis behind me. I didn't ask to put like a naked model behind me. It has a mind of its own. Like
And
AI.
yet it knows your
Yeah.
algorithm so well that it knows how to make you
I love
satisfied.
this guy's outfit as well on the colonial.
Well, and then what are you underwater here?
I don't know. I could have gone for this one.
Well, no, this is the selfie. This is like the source image, right? This is the one that
And
you took of yourself
I'll tell you,
to
the
create the other
prompt
images.
says nothing about give me giant pecs and like take my shirt off. It has nothing of that. It's just like this is what we're gonna do.
It's taking artistic liberties.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's some flaws in the methodology, but overall, like
I
it's
don't know
a
if I'd
good
say
time. I don't know why I'm in
flaws.
a sausage
Oh.
making factory here when I asked.
Don't you though?
Oh my god.
Yeah. Anyway, thought I'd share that.
Wow. Is that two of you then?
It is two of me, yeah.
Wow.
That's a lot of Dustin.
No, that's
too many Dustins.
That's a lot of Dustins. It's a lot of skin, artificial intelligence skin that I really didn't care to see either.
He's gonna go like, inside his eyes with
Speaking of
acid
mental
now.
health,
good for you guys. I'm glad we shared all of that. Thanks for coming in and making fun of me as usual. I appreciate it. And thanks again for being here, friends.
Yeah. Thank you for being here.
All right.
All right. Thank
Nick,
you.
I'll see you next week. Kristen, have a good time out there.
I will.
All right, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Keep on recruiting. Later.